Hello, everyone, and welcome to PR Connections at prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. My name is Guy Dawson, and I am your host for today. And my guest is Desiree Williams. She is a motivational speaker extraordinaire and also someone with an extremely strong corporate background. Desiree and I have been working together on the PR Connections show for many years, and she is about to come back into the fold and become a host of the PR Connections show here on our network. Welcome back to PR Connections, Desiree.
Thank you, Guy. It's good to be back. I really missed it. Thank you.
And I had mentioned before, Desiree and I were doing this show several years ago on another network. And at that time, we were just sort of establishing the vision of what prconnectionsradio.com was all about. And I always was so impressed with Desiree, with her content, with her professionalism, and her desire to really help people. And again, I miss you, Desiree, and it's so great to have you back being a part of the network.
Thank you. I actually miss you too. I loved when we were in the studio. I'm going to love this just as much. I can't play with all the, the gadgets and as being right in the studio, but this is definitely just as fun, and it's going to where, everybody's going virtually. The economy is changing, things are changing. So going virtual and understanding this whole virtual lifestyle is going to be a very good journey, but definitely have a lot of good content and a lot of inspiring, motivating information for people out there.
Tell us about your background in terms of how you got to where you are right now.
I have had a very long journey, just learning life, being a mom since I was 16, getting a lot of hands-on experience with the mindset on how to be more positive, how to make things work for you, how to keep yourself motivated when things are not going right. Going into college and graduating from college out here in Vegas, doing construction out here in Vegas for almost 20 years now, in the corporate sector with MGM, with the city of Las Vegas, with multiple general contractors, and traveling as well. Just being in that corporate lifestyle, it is definitely different than just being in a regular 9-to-5 job, but the foundation of your mindset is all the same. And coming out of that and dealing with just a lot of issues with myself, being a single mom, and things of that nature, I got into neuroscience and got into things of like, well, how does my mind work? Like, how can I make things go in my favor? How can I get over habits that are blocking me from being successful and being abundant like I want to? And I've studied that over the last 8 years of my life and did a lot of self-work and self-growth. And I'm here right now today just to pass on all the knowledge of business and business building, because when you're building your business, it's the same thing as in construction, the process. You have pre-construction, construction, and after the post-construction, you have that is the same as building your business and looking at how you create and structure your business the same way. And your mind is the exact same format. You have to create your habits. You have to also follow certain practices going through the process of creating those new habits so they can stick and you can continue to do them without having to think about them, and things get easier. And the construction business and building your mindset is all the same process. So I just married all of those processes and come to doing what I'm doing right now and loving it, like every moment of it.
And you call yourself the passionate one, Desiree. What is it that inspires your passion? How did you come to have that name for yourself, the passionate one?
I love people. I love helping people. I love being there for people genuinely. It's not, it's organic for me to be there for people, to help people out. And I'm passionate about everything that I do. I'm passionate about growing your business. I'm passionate about growing your mindset. I'm passionate about anything that I touch. And I call it like my Midas touch. That passion is my Midas touch. So I put that passion into everything that I do for myself or anybody else. And I just want to make sure that it's successful, it's prosperous, and it grows, and that you get a lot out of anything that I bring to the table with you.
And of course, I had mentioned before that we had done quite a bit of broadcasting together a few years ago. You had some very interesting themes that you touched on. As you had mentioned before, you were a young mother and you've had all these different experiences throughout your life that have made you the person that you are today. When a person is listening to you and you're doing one of these podcasts, or if you're doing some of the coaching and things that you do with corporate teams, what do you want the takeaway to be for them? What is the main thing that if they get nothing else out of your talk that you absolutely want to get across to your audience?
I want where Passionate One really dives into, I want the passion that comes from my words to resonate with them. And I want them to walk away thinking about every step that they make for themselves first. You know, you have your business, you have your family, you have a lot of expectations from many people out there in the world. And that is the part that gets overwhelming, is all the expectations that we have to live up to. What I want them to take away is put yourself first. Have the passion in yourself first. Because when you're feeling good about yourself, you're feeling good about the information and knowledge that you have and that you bring to the table. You're able to pass that on to your teams, your families, and your friends to make everything around you better and work smoother. I want them to walk away knowing that they control their environment from controlling what they put inside themselves.
Oh, that's an excellent point that you make about taking care of yourself first is a really critical thing. Why do you think that that is an issue sometimes with people? Is that they don't necessarily take care of themselves first, or they may not have an understanding of how important that is in their success, in them growing and achieving the things that they want to achieve?
Because we're taught to take care of everybody else first. You're taught to be a mom. You're taught to be a sibling. You're taught to be an employee. I mean, even from childhood, we're taught how we're supposed to respond to life and react to challenges in our life. And that just takes away from who you are as a person. So until we get back to who you are as a person, we're not going to look at ourselves first. A lot of us become young moms early, like I have. You get married early. You have expectations from your parents where they want your life to go, not what you want, but what they want for you. Your teachers teach you how to, learn in a way to be out there and be a great employee, and be in the workforce. And a lot of people are not comfortable in that, but they're doing what they're told to do. And they don't know that I need to look at myself first. Nobody teaches us to look at ourselves first. Nobody teaches us that we come first, and then when you have people who are putting themselves first, they call them selfish. You have to be selfish to an extent, because if you're not selfish for yourself and able to put that love and care and passion into yourself, there's no way you'll be able to put it into your relationships, into your job performances, into your families, into your children, so they can be that model of putting themselves first, and it's become a social engineer habit of, well, I have to look at everybody else first. They call it altruism. And yes, it's good to put everybody else first, but if you don't know how to put yourself first and love on yourself and give yourself the passion that you need to blossom and bloom into your talents and your skills, you can't help anybody else do it either.
That is great information, Desiree. And for someone out there who aspires to be altruistic, the way that you were talking about a second ago, they really want to contribute to the world. They have a passion for something, but as you mentioned before, you can't give anything from an empty tank. What would be some of the steps that you would recommend to that type of a person to fill their tank so that they will be able to pursue the altruistic endeavor or whatever it is that they are working toward?
Amazing question. And I love that one because it dives right into what I love. And have a routine in the morning for yourself. If you have to get up an hour or two earlier before everybody else in your family does, if you live with people, before everybody else starts moving and those distractions start happening in your life, put that time for you first. First thing in the morning, get up early, go take a nice shower, take your time. Because when you rush, you don't think, and the rushing becomes a distraction. and that takes away from yourself as well. Plan that time for yourself. Go in there and do some mirror work. Say your affirmations in front of the mirror. Say how amazing you are, how amazing today is going to go. You know, I love different things, like I go and buy some things that smell good, right? So when I get in the shower, I have the shower scrub that I got from Five Princesses, and it's edible shower scrub, but it smells so amazing. So you're like playing with it and you're in there, and then you don't understand how different scents can make you feel good in the morning. There's this body scrub that, you know, I got from Renee's Essence, and it feels so good. It's creamy. It's you know, very fluffy. So I look at it as like my buttercream. So as I'm rubbing and putting my cream on, I'm getting myself ready for the day. I'm smelling my candles because I'm burning candles in the morning in the bathroom from Candles. There's different products that I will use so I can get those scents and those smells going. And I just actually enjoy myself first before I enjoy anybody else, before my day starts getting crazy, before distractions start popping up. I want to enjoy me. So as I am scrubbing with something that smells really good from Five Princesses, or I'm rubbing on the shea butter from Renee's Essence, and I'm smelling those smells, I'm thinking of, you know, walking in a field of petals or anything. Just let your mind and imagination just take you wherever you want to go. Let that be your first getaway of whatever you want for your life. Make the perfect moment in you getting ready for your day, you know, with your affirmations in front of the mirror, looking at yourself as you're lotioning up and you're getting ready and you're putting on your makeup, or you're a man and you're shaving and you're getting into that. Think about all the things that you love about yourself. Think of all the things that you want to accomplish that day, all the opportunities that are going to come to you. You visualize your day first thing in the morning. You imagine how you want it to go, and you set the tone for your morning by just having that time just for you, not waking up to an alarm, running and making breakfast for the kids or breakfast for yourself, or rushing, getting ready for work. Take that time in your morning to just that extra time, just for you, and make that your morning routine. If you're out working out, go and work out and really think about your affirmations. Think about your day. Think about how you want your day to go. Think about the things that are going to progress in your day, and think about the opportunities you want to come to you. And that's what they call manifesting your day, right? You want to create it in your mind first, and then you want to draw that energy to you. So as you raise your energy vibrations with those different scents and tones, I listen to a lot of binary beats or different songs just off of YouTube that will inspire and motivate me. You have to motivate yourself, because nobody out there is going to think about, well, let me stop and motivate Guy, or let me motivate Desiree, you know, right now, because they need that motivation. It doesn't work like that. You need to motivate yourself first thing in the morning. I use my Apple Watch. I put it on right before I walk out the door every day, and it has a breathe app on there where you could take just 1 minute, close your eyes, and just breathe. If you got to go to the bathroom and just sit in the bathroom where it's quiet, you sit in your car, you know, as you're walking down the street or walking through the parking lot, just put your breathe app on and just calm your mind down and relax and enjoy who you are. Remind yourself how amazing you are, because nobody else is going to give you that, but you have to give it to yourself. And we have to learn to give that to ourselves.
Yeah, the morning really does set the tone for the rest of your day. That's for sure, Desiree. And I know you have a big background on the corporate side, as you had mentioned before. And part of what you're wanting to share on this platform and in other places is the miscommunication in the corporate world. And specifically, I know that you talk about management and how there tends to be a big miscommunication a lot of times in the corporate setting between people who are employees and those who are management. Would you like to speak to that? What are some of the things that you want to address in terms of those relationships?
There's even being on the management side with MGM, and just listening and the training of the leadership training and everything they put us through. They want us to connect with, you know, what they call the subordinates, your team, your employees. And a lot of those employees are not going to be honest with a lot of upper management. You know, they're not going to be honest. They're not going to tell you how they feel, because they already know that management has this this aura of not caring about really your day. They don't want to connect because we're taught to not connect too much to the employees, because we get too close to them. If we have to fire them, then it's going to be hard for us to fire them. But there has to be a boundary of, you have to give some empathy. You have to really understand where your employees are coming from. You have to really want them to open up to you, because that's what builds the loyalty. That's what builds the camaraderie in your teams to produce more for your company. That gives them the longevity that they want with your job and your business. They want to promote. There are people out there who want to be entrepreneurs, but going on the corporate sectors, there's a lot of people that want to be entrepreneurs. They don't want to own their own business, but they want to feel like they own and have a part ownership in your business. And coming from another company that I've worked for, Shamit, they call us bosses, and they look at it as ESOP, which is employee stock option plan. But they want you to look as an ESOP employee like you're part of the business, you're part of the ownership. But at the same time, there's still a disconnect with how they say crap rolls downhill. Well, I want to change that whole feeling of what rolls downhill, and I want it to be positivity rolling downhill. I want it to be inspiration rolling downhill. I want it to be motivation rolling downhill, because when you have those things rolling downhill, you're allowing your teams to feel more comfortable and confident with you, opening up to you. And yes, if you have to let them go at some point in time because they're not a good fit, or they just don't fit the mold for the business and where it's going, for the mission and the vision of the business, that's fine. Have that conversation with them. You can still have the conversation with them, even though you know that they have a family, but help them move on, help them transition onto what works for them. Because once you get to know them, now you know where they're best at. You can help them understand, because a lot of people don't have good self-awareness. They don't know what they will be good at. They don't know where they should put their talents and skills. They don't have that ability to know that. But as management, we should be able to look at them and understand our team enough so we know their skills and their talents and abilities, to where if that job or that company or that position that they're in, it doesn't fit their skills and talents, we're able to help them transition on to be in a better place, even with the company or into another company where those skills and talents, they'll be able to blossom and bloom. Because you don't want a person to feel worthless. You want them to feel worth everything that they have inside them, because everybody has a worth, which is my company name and where I got it from, Blank Tag. It's know your worth. And that is very, very important for them to know their worth. And I work with another person, which I call my sister in love. She has Evolve Life Mastery, Dawn Kristen Ellison, and she's amazing at helping you understand who you are, understanding your worth, and how to, release those blockages of not understanding who you are. So I do have somebody I work with really closely, and she is an amazing person with Evolve Life Mastery that can help just put those pieces together. She helps those pieces that I have, and they're not in corporate. They're directly just personal for the person, and mine is directly for the corporation and the mindset that leadership and management needs to have. She's the one that will work with your subordinates, your team, your employees, to help them also to understand. And having a coaching team for your corporation is going to help build that structure for your business moving forward. Pandemic has shown us that there's a lot of stresses and unknowns and instability that's not there, that people get nervous about, they're scared about, they don't want to not know what's going on. We can help as far as a coaching team to help develop corporations to understand that it's a mindset. And once you bridge those gaps between empathy and sympathy and corporations and management and your subordinate team, you can actually help build a lot stronger team, a lot better team, that will take you over that hump, take you to that next level, help you build the revenue that you're actually looking for, but you have to put the employees first.
That's some excellent advice about teams and the corporate culture, Desiree. And I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter what size your business is. If you're one of these Fortune 500 companies that has tens of thousands of employees, or if you're a small business owner that maybe only has 10 employees or 20 employees or 100 employees, your culture is just so important. And there was a lot of good things that you spoke about there in terms of understanding I think that was what I got out of a lot of the things that you were just talking about, is how to establish greater understanding. And so you, as someone who motivates, who teaches, how do you help people to improve their understanding of others? Because again, with all the personal development work that you talked about, generally we're doing this because we have a goal that we're working towards. We have a group of people maybe that we need to be able to work effectively with in order to achieve this goal. So what are some of the relationship tips? I know you offered some at the corporate level, but just in general, what are some things that you can do? I guess my real question is to improve your relationships overall with other people so that you can be more motivated and more passionate.
I would say start with going back to corporate, because I'm more corporate, SWOT analysis, right? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Do them on yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What opportunities can you give to others? And what threatens your ability to do that, which is your habits that are blocking you from being the person that you want to be. It's being that self-aware and having social awareness skills, right? So your IQ has to be there. You have to understand where your social awareness level is. You have to understand where your self-awareness level is. And once you understand where you are and how you can increase that, there are some very good books on increasing your self-awareness and social awareness. And there's some very amazing tests that are on, the internet that you can go through and you can find out who you are, find out what your skills and abilities are, find out what your weaknesses are, find out what you bring to the table for not only yourself, but for that other person. And going back to altruism, you want to have that first outlook and in-depth knowledge about yourself first, because you can't help anybody else get it. You can't help your child grow into the person that they should be. You can't help your husband and your wife, and you can't be that supportive person in that relationship that you want to be when you don't know what your skills and your weaknesses are. What are your strengths? What are your talents? What do you want? What can you bring to the table? What threatens your livelihood as being the person that you want to be? What are those bad habits that you have that you haven't broken, that you haven't realized that you even have? So going in depth and really understanding you, and then building a system for that, because it's practice. You can't just want something to happen and say it that day. You actually have to practice. So put together a system, put together a plan for your life every single day so you can create the habits that you want to have, create the characteristics that you want to have in yourself that you may or may not see in yourself. But you have to build a plan. You have to journal. You have to get your planner out. I have an actual business journal, and it's for businesses, but I'm going to create one for personal development and have a journal and planner for your personal development planner and personal development journal, so you can actually understand what you need to do on an everyday basis, because you changing is not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen just because you said that you want it to happen. It's going to happen because you have to practice it and have a system for yourself that you follow every single day to make it happen, because then it becomes a habit that you're creating the new you. And once you create that new you, you're on automatic in the new life that you love. And then you can radiate that energy with everybody else around you.
And I had mentioned before, Desiree, that you are going to be hosting this show that I am actually hosting today, twice a month. What can a person expect to get when they tune into PR Connections, the Motivation and Passion edition? What will be the takeaway for them?
They'll get a lot of tips and tricks on how to get started in building their system. Right. So, as a project manager in construction for the last almost 20 years out here in Vegas in the corporate sector, there's always a process. There's always the SOPs, right? System of procedures, right? So you have SOPs for yourself, SOPs for your life. You have to have a system. And I want to help people build that system. And I'm going to give them that system that they can put together their life and understand what direction, because a lot of times people are confused on where do I start? How do I get started? What do I do first? What do I do at all? And I want to give them all of that information so they can get started. They can understand what steps they can have, and they can understand a system that they need to put together for themselves and their lives. And I want to give them all those tips.
It's a great point that you brought up, Desiree, and brought up several times about systematically working on improving yourself. I think that that is really important. Yes, it is wonderful to have the tools of personal development, but I think I think you grow at a higher level when you do actually have a system for how you're working on your personal development, because it develops, I mean, my own experience of this is it develops certain habits, and your habits are really, they make or break you throughout your life. So that, I mean, that is just wonderful to hear you share that. You're going to give them a systematic way, but they will be able to get tools from you that will give them more motivation and more passion and drive to work toward whatever it is that they want to accomplish in their lives.
Exactly. I love coaching. I love, helping people. And, my biggest thing with coaching is I don't want you to depend on a coach, because those are people that's outside of your circle that are coming in to help guide you. Right. And they're not going to be there all the time. If you're up at 2:00 in the morning because you're stressed out or you're frustrated about something that just did not go right, you have to learn how to motivate and inspire yourself. You have to learn how to decipher, what do I do right now? I can't pick up the phone and call somebody. And a lot of times we're picking up the phone, we're calling people, and it just makes the confusion more confusion, because they're only going to coddle your conversation. They're going to give you what you want to hear. And, as far as to make you feel good, but they're not going to give you the steps on what you can do to feel better about yourself. And a lot of times you don't need to be coddled. And I tell people, I'm a very aggressive coach. I'm going to shove you outside your box, because that box of comfort that you've gotten so used to is what keeps you stagnant in your life. And until you get outside that box and start doing things that you're not used to, that you're uncomfortable with, and it's going to be frustrating, it's going to be hard, it's going to be annoying and very irritating, because you're not used to being there. And you just have to understand that it takes you and your mindset to say, I'm going to do this. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to stop calling and putting everybody in my business, and I'm going to sit here and build the system for myself that is going to help me get through everything that I need to get through, because I know that this system works. I've used it with my clients over the last couple of years, and they tell me the results that they have. Their family members tell me, I've had a couple of husbands come and tell me, my wife is like totally different. My sister, my brother, they're totally different. They're not even the same person they were a year ago. So I perfected it. I've actually been playing with the system and using it and asking people, can you please be my guinea pig? I just want to see if this works. I want to understand if my theory is correct. It's on the right level. It's on the right path. And it is, and I'm ready to actually share it with so many people, because I believe that having a lot of happy people in this world and sharing that energy of positivity and upbeat energy will help change so many different things with business, with personal lives, with your children growing up, and every generation that comes behind that. So it's bigger than just me. It's bigger than just your business. It's your legacy.
Yeah, we appreciate you sharing your passion and motivation with us today, Desiree. And again, stay tuned, everyone out there, for PR Connections of Motivation and Passion Edition with Desiree Williams. We're going to be making announcements about when we're going to actually launch this show. It's going to be coming on twice a month, and you're going to get a chance to get some of the insight that Desiree has offered us here today on this podcast. Desiree, for people out there who may want to get in contact with you for coaching or help with some of the services that you have to offer, how can they get a hold of you?
You can go to my website at www.blanktag.shop. I am updating it because I do have some new information that I want to put on there, but you can reach me there. You can also reach me by email at DesireeWilliams@blanktag.org. You can also reach me on Facebook at Facebook or Instagram, because it's the same. It's blank_tag_ on Instagram or on Facebook.
All right. Well done, Desiree. And we appreciate all of you for tuning into the PR Connections show at prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. Stay tuned. We have a host of shows that we're going to be rolling out on our network over the next couple of months. And stay tuned for more updates on Facebook or our other social media platforms. You can also visit us at SoundCloud to listen to the audio versions of these shows. We are on YouTube and Twitch as well. So stay tuned. Take care of yourselves, and we will be together with you very soon. Stay tuned for Desiree Williams, the Motivation and Passion edition of the PR Connections radio show. See you soon.